Hi, I'm Mike Turner, the Director of Development and Integration at Gap Relief, and welcome to the very first episode of a new series we are calling Mic Drop, where I have the pleasure of interviewing our awesome service providers and partners in the Gap Relief ecosystem to help kind of flesh out who we are and what we do, and how we live out our mission to help the helpers build resilient communities. I'm really excited about this series, and we're hopeful that this brings you new perspective on what we do, whether you're familiar with Gap Relief or a first-time listener. So our first guest today is somebody I'm really excited to talk to, a former nurse practitioner and current provider of neurofeedback at Gap Relief, Kelsey Gilley. Kelsey, welcome to the show today.
Thanks, Mike. Nice to be here.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. Kelsey, you're going to talk to us today about neurofeedback. I'm excited about it because it's a bit of a, kind of a weird thing for some people.
Yes.
And we'll get into kind of why, but also what it does and how it helps the brain. I have myself had it today, but you've been doing neurofeedback for a couple of years now.
Yes.
How confident do you feel in your ability to give us a live demonstration?
Oh, very confident.
Okay.
Would
okay.
be happy
okay.
to.
Okay. Let's hook me up.
Okay, let's
Let's
do
hook
it.
me up
Let's
right
do it.
now. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
Kelsey, I currently have how many wires connected to my head?
Got 5.
And how many thousands of volts are passing through my body at the moment?
None. 3 picowatts.
Okay, so roughly the same as the average power line.
No.
Uh,
I don't know how much runs through a power line. I am not an electrical engineer like my brother. But, so a cell phone has 1 million times the amount of electrical energy that you're holding next to your head.
Okay. So even though this looks like the thing I used to jumpstart my car, I probably couldn't do it.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. No, but, in all seriousness, I would imagine a first-timer coming across neurofeedback, and you're talking about electrical waves, you're hooking wires up to my head. Yes. Do you get people that are a little bit nervous, get a little bit freaked out by this?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, especially kids.
Yeah, well, yes. No, I'm going to force my kids to do this.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit, in layman's terms, what's happening here? Sure. Why do I have wires hooked to my head? Yeah. What's passing through my brain?
Absolutely. So the whole principle behind neurofeedback is basically manually retraining the brain. There's a couple different types of technology on the market these days. My specific technology is taking the brain from the sympathetic fight, flight, freeze state that we can get in for various reasons, whether that's chronic stress, traumatic events, or even just perceived trauma. One person's dream come true could be someone else's nightmare. Mm-hmm. But the brain doesn't care, and it gets stuck in the fight, flight. But we're not designed to stay in that zone, and then when we get stuck there, things start to come out, whether that's headaches or poor sleep or any variation of reflux or constipation or diarrhea. The whole body is connected to the brain. So the purpose of neurofeedback, this generation technology, is to manually switch us into the rest and digest state.
Okay.
So we don't get that just in our everyday life.
Right.
Nothing in our world is designed to help us to rest and digest. Everything is to push and push and do more.
A lot of stimulus.
More stimulus, yes. So this is a very easy way for us to switch and then to essentially, over the course of several visits, retrain the brain to stay where it's meant to of the rest and digest, and only in, oh my gosh, that car just pulled out in front of me, or I'm swerving from a deer, to go into that fight flight mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, said another way, all the crazy monkeys bouncing around in my brain all the time.
Yes.
This machine and treatment helps chill my brain out a little bit.
Yes.
Could you say that?
Yes.
How is that happening? What exactly does the machine do?
Yeah.
What's happening in my brain?
Good question. So the normally I would have a computer here, but our table is too small. And the computer is reading via these electrodes. There are some that are reading where your brain is at, and then there are some that are giving the essentially the treatment.
Zapping me.
Zapping you, yes, with that 3 picowatts. Which,
Power lines.
yeah, power lines. Completely unfeelable, so just, there's that. You don't even know that it's on, because 3 picowatts is exactly what our own brains function at.
Okay.
So your brain does not recognize anything's happening or that anything foreign is going on. But it is powerful enough to create change. So it is switching that brain by reading where you're at, whether you're, I could get technical into different types of wavelengths, but whether you're really high or you're really low, or just you're in between. But it's targeting a specific wavelength, which represents the parasympathetic state, which we can't naturally get into on our own. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So the machine is rating how my monkeys are jumping.
Yes.
And then sending in some signals
Yes.
that get my monkeys to chill out.
Yes, right. Exactly. Yes.
I love that. Okay, so I can speak from experience a little bit, but why don't you tell us around what is the felt experience when you're hooked up to a neurofeedback machine? Yeah. Are you feeling anything, vibrations? What are you going to experience as a user?
Most people, I get them started and going, and they're like, "Did you turn it on yet?" And I'm like, "Yes, it's running, it's going." And they're like, "What?" You don't feel anything. However, the actual treatment, the actual electricity going through, however, people experience in their body different changes. So that can be anything on the spectrum from I feel calm, relaxed, like I just went to the spa, to some people have a depressive scale. They when they get done, they're like, "Man, I think I might go home and do something," or like, "Man, I feel really awake," or "I feel less foggy," So it, whatever your brain is at. If your brain's low, it brings you up. If your brain's high, it brings you down.
Okay.
It's just that middle zone.
So given that people can have different reactions or interactions with the treatment, when you think about the role or purpose of the treatment and success in the treatment, what are you looking for? How would you describe somebody for whom neurofeedback has worked well?
Yeah. A lot of people say anybody with a brain can benefit from neurofeedback, which I can't argue with. However, not everybody
rules
has
me out.
Not everybody has the means or just the time frame to put this to use, right? So people, though, struggling with anxiety or depression or migraines or sleep issues, kids that have really high highs and low lows, reactivity, responsiveness, stuff like that. Those are the people that I see the most, because it changes your body. So it's just putting you in that parasympathetic state so that your brain can heal itself in whatever way is necessary. So unlike a lot of different types of neurofeedback, mine does not require any brain mapping, any strong technology like MRIs or whatever to see what's wrong in the brain, because your brain was designed to heal itself, but it can only do that when it's in that rest and digest state. So lots of different people can benefit because it's allowing your brain to heal itself from whatever it needs, which is a beautiful thing. And the ultimate goal for when people come to see me, and when I get tears in my eyes, is when people look at me and they say, "I feel like myself again."
That's awesome. Thank you for that. And it actually leads me to my final question before we wrap here. And one of the reasons I was very excited to have you on the show is I think about neurofeedback, what you provide. It's very tangible. Oh, here we go. Yep. We're losing it. I got it.
You got it?
Oh, yeah. Just hook myself back up, just like jump starting the car. When we think about the service you provide, it's a very complementary service to the overall system of gap relief. Can you tell us more about that, why that is?
For sure. So we know counselors, and you do a lot of talking, and it's a lot about your hearts and feelings and stuff like that, which is totally necessary and, essential for a lot of things. The beauty with neurofeedback is that a lot of our emotions, and I didn't even know this when I was practicing medicine, a lot of our emotions get stuck inside of our body. And so we can talk about our feelings as much as we want, and we can, in our heart feel better, but then we're still got these headaches, and we've still got this pain that I've had since I had a child or whatever, and this helps to unlock that, helps to release it, helps your body to just heal from that memory, or from that experience. And so that's the beauty of working alongside all the counselors. And when we do intensives at Gap Relief, we getting to support not just the heart and the mind, but also the body. And when people are sleeping better, a lot of things change. And that's like the number one thing that neurofeedback is quick to change.
That's
is
awesome.
Sleep, and people feel human again because sleep is necessary. And then you can process things more.
Yes.
And I know, like, my own husband would have a hard time when he went to counseling because his body was just in a state of, that, like, I'm in danger. And so when you can calm the nervous system down and tell it that it's safe and it's no longer in danger, then you can be more present to do the heart stuff and the that kind of work. And you can get deeper and not have as many symptoms of things showing up in the body, and it's just a beautiful thing. And I love being here and wrapping people in that way.
Kelsey, that's awesome. It's beautiful. Love what you do. That's all the time we have on the show today.
Okay.
I'm even losing some wire, so I think it's time for the service to be complete. But thank you. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for your service at Gap Relief. We're really glad to have you.
Yeah, love being here, love being a part.
Awesome.
And, thanks for having me.
If you're curious to know more about neurofeedback, what Kelsey does, what we do at Gap Relief as a whole, feel free to reach out. You can find all our contact information at gaprelief.com or find us on social. Thanks for tuning in today.